Good evening. Call the meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Hampden Board of Selectmen and the Board of Health being held in the Townhouse on April 8th, 2024 at 6 p.m. This meeting is being conducted in person or remotely. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and we appreciate all the letters and cards we got for the selectmen for bringing the sun back. One of our many duties. Is anyone recording this meeting other than ourselves? Kristen, thank you, from the Wilbraham Times. First item on the agenda is minutes from March 11th, 2024. Okay. Junior firefighter program, we had the Scanlon Associates audit review. The Water District Commission was here to talk about the extension of the water district. We discussed briefly the pilot agreement for Mill Road, that the laws changed, so we have to do a different pilot. That'll be on the town meeting warrant. Board of Health Coordinator position, we'll have a vacancy there soon. We voted on some food permits, took a look at the budget, looked at the draft warrant, and that's it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. It was also Brian's first meeting.
It was also Brian's first meeting.
And he's still here.
All right, what do we got on the warrant here? Again, another warrant review. Brian, I have a question on the questions.
Yep.
To go on the ballot. What's the difference between an exclusion and an override?
Override stays on the,
Yeah.
override stays on the tax levy.
Do we have to put that in the wording then, if it's an override, or we just, do we have to put it as an exclusion?
I think exempting from the provision of 2.5 is a exemption from the levy limit, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna put both the senior center and the water
One-time charges,
district.
basically, yeah.
Do we have to have the dollar amount in that? And not in the question, I guess, not in the ballot question.
I don't believe so. Rose looked at these 4 questions and she didn't.
I looked at all the ones we did for the school and for the senior center, for the police station. They didn't have a dollar amount on the one.
For the override?
Right, for the override questions.
But we're gonna have it available for the town meeting.
Yeah. Brandon, are you getting ready to do like an explanation thing like we used to do in the past? We would have like a little summary thing at the bottom of every question.
Yep.
And that's where you throw the amount in. You know, we're looking for 60,000 for a highway truck.
And those were typically in the green sheets too, right? The explanations.
Sometimes, but they're done time, yeah.
Yeah, where would you like those?
At the
You want
bottom of
them in the
every
green sheets?
question.
Okay.
Like you said, the first 10 are boilerplate, that's the point.
Okay, what about the community preservation thing?
At this point, we have one application. The placeholder, which was gonna be for the windows, we took care of at our last meeting.
So
That's going on.
but isn't there a question about the amount?
That's the amount they asked for, and that's the amount the committee voted.
Okay,
We have advice from our town administrator that if that expenditure is felt to be over the amount needed, the CPA can come back and ask for that to be reduced in a further article, correct?
Yeah, money can be returned to where it came from.
Right.
state aid, senior center expansion. Payment in lieu of test, I think, Scandic Valley Water, we need a map for that.
Right.
Okay.
So who would we ask time bond for that? Is that, somebody reach out for time bond,
For the map?
the map and the,
I don't think it would
The
hurt to, I mean,
description.
they've been
Yeah,
doing the work,
we've,
sure.
we've paid them a lot of money, so I think, yeah, why not ask them?
I think Jen can handle it.
I think we gotta swap 14 and 13 though. I think we have to vote for the expansion in the dollar first, and then the district expansion size second. That's the way it was in 2001 when we expanded the district. So we don't need, if it doesn't pass the first one, there's no chance of
I
increasing
thought,
the map size.
yeah, I really thought we needed 3 questions
For what?
for the water district. I thought we needed a question for the map, and then a question for phase A and a question for phase B. Because if this 14 fails, you can't do the pump house, and you can't even connect the ones on Main Street, on Scannick Road. And I thought we'd have a question first for the phase A, which is, I'm thinking, and you threw around some numbers, I think, I thought we're still waiting for the final on ARPA. Say ARPA has the 400, worst case at this point. You're gonna need approximately 600 to finish phase A pump house work and connect the current houses.
Aren't they throwing around a number of 1.2, 1.3
That
total?
much more?
That's what she said the last time.
Yeah,
Okay, with the contingency and stuff like that, yeah,
for just doing the pump house, but,
right.
I mean, I guess if you wanna break it into phases, I mean, we're still asking for the full amount, right? I mean,
Well, then you can revise the motion if the first thing passes, which does not require an override per the town treasurer, because he can fit that into borrowing over 3 years, because you're only at that point borrowing 700, well inside the levy limit over a 3-year note. Then we would revise the amount asked for the full expansion down by the 1.2, and now you're asking for 1.6 for the phase B, something like that.
I think we're probably close to 2.
Okay, but I mean, then that number would change if the first article passes, which does not need a ballot question.
Why would the second number change? I'm confused.
I'm saying, well, right now, we're looking for 2 point something, or 3 million to do the whole
Yeah,
project.
3, 4
Right.
maybe,
Something like that.
4
Right.
total.
Right, so I'm saying that would be the number we're working with.
Yeah,
But if you get the funding for the first phase,
yeah,
the article for the second one is that less what you passed in the first one. The amount you're borrowing,
yeah.
with the exclusion is less.
So to just,
amount.
if we do it in 2 phases like that, having both items, does the second one trigger the override?
Yes,
It does,
right.
at that dollar
And that's
amount?
why if you've already passed the other one, you're only asking for an override of 2 million.
2 million.
2 million at that point, yeah.
Only.
Yeah,
Sorry.
only.
No, yeah, only, but I mean.
Yeah, it gives the
So-
grand scheme of things.
Maybe,
that
John,
allows-
maybe we can get a hard number from Ty and Bond on the total project cost, but in 2 incrementals.
I could ask them,
Yeah.
Jennifer's
I
away.
mean, we're gonna look to do the whole project,
Yes, I understand.
but if we need to do this and then this for funding purposes, I guess.
Lock it down. I thought that was in their presentation last time, but again,
It was,
change
but
all the time.
That was if we did it 2 phases but separately.
Right, right,
So this would be 2 phases, but
but at the
Lumped
same
it.
time, so you get the advantage of like.
yeah, the
jobbing it out,
discounts,
right,
the
yeah.
job discount,
Right.
yeah,
You keep one off the override, basically, and use the ARPA money towards it,
yeah.
yeah. So,
So that would need to reopen for that extra article then.
yeah,
So we do water district
do you want them,
improvements and then water district expansion.
exactly right,
Yeah.
improvements, yeah.
Okay.
'Cause I mean, the bulk of it is the pump house
So water
Right.
district improvement,
improvements,
water
because
district expansion,
Water-
water district, here's how much it costs for
Geographical
expansion.
area, yeah.
Right, okay.
there's actually, the bulk of the money you're spending is for pump house improvements. The connection part we're talking about, which could be as much as 120, you said,
It could be.
we could be paying that out of ARPA. So basically, the money you're approving on the warrant is for the pump house expansion. and whatever's left from ARPA to go bring that number down. So
Right.
if you're labeling it, you are labeling it as pump house
Right, pump house improvements,
expansion and improvements, yeah, exactly.
yeah, and then district expansion.
Wasn't the original one, was replace the pump house
Mhm.
and connect the people on Scantic Road. Then phase two would be people up South Munson Road and around Glendale
Mhm.
and.
Which requires the map expansion,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Right,
Now, Brian, there were some emails about grants. Are we in the fight there? Are we in the,
Yeah, so that's what, was being discussed earlier about, it was Time Bond who submitted it, right? Submitted
Correct.
to Mass DEP.
You signed the one and submitted it, but they came back that our paperwork was accepted. But now it's just a waiting game.
Mhm.
And they had over 100 people requesting, so.
Is that
There's only
federal or state?
That
Yeah,
was
state.
State,
State.
and that was something that was,
$30 million is what they had to work with,
yeah,
They said they had 100 communities though, right?
yes.
Inquire about funds.
that was something that I think Bob had submitted previous, or
They couldn't find it.
they
so
couldn't
we had to
find it or
resubmit
something,
that's
so
all.
we re-signed it and submitted it. And the one they were alluding to was the Clean Water Trust, the state revolving fund for drinking water. That's one that might be an option.
Yeah, they might be zero interest and possibly loan forgiveness.
Mhm.
is what
Yeah,
they
it's
said.
usually a sliding scale for principal forgiveness based on the community's financial needs, so it would depend on where Hampden falls on their scale.
Right, so we need to reopen the warrant to add an article.
Actually, I looked at the video last time, I don't think we actually took a vote. We voted to open it, we never closed.
Oh, so it's still open?
Yes.
Oh.
So can you just list those again, what we want, so I have.
So the first article would be the Scannick Valley Water District pump house improvements. The second article would be Scannick Valley Water District expansion.
That's the map,
Nope,
No,
nope,
no, just
that's the
the,
borrowing,
that's what's
That's the borrowing,
14 right now,
yeah.
yeah.
okay.
and then the third one would be the geographical map of the
Right.
district.
So 13 moves to 15, and you add new 13, which is pump house improvements.
You might want to change that to pump station. and
Not pump house. Okay,
Okay,
Pump station includes everything,
all
okay,
right.
not a structure.
yeah.
Mhm.
Pump station.
Pump station improvements
Yeah.
and Scantic Road hookups.
I wonder
Yeah,
how-
because we're gonna do Scantic Road hookups
Hmm.
in that first phase.
Well, like I said, once you improve the pump house, you can pay the Scannick Road improvements out of ARPA without being part of the article. If we want to focus the article on just the fact the pump station needs improvements,
Yeah,
we should focus that article on that.
yeah, yeah, because okay, then,
And then now, we're gonna hold 120 aside out of ARPA. So therefore, and this is where we're looking for you really to tie that number down with Cliff. Say you had 430 left in it, so we have 300 towards the pump station improvements, and your number is now 900 to borrow.
right,
Right.
yeah, okay, I got you.
I'll send an email tomorrow, try to get
Hard numbers.
those two hard numbers.
Right, and look at the fact that back when we did the highway expansion, which was a total of 600, Dick basically just paid to 300 in 2 consecutive years,
Right.
you know, inside normal budget. It's like paying for the truck now, we don't bother going on the warrant for an exclusion like when we were younger.
Right.
You know, buying a dump truck back then was a huge thing,
Angry thing sometimes.
something, yeah, plowing my street, I'm not paying for that truck. You tell Homer to get over here.
This warrant keeps growing.
Article, are we done with that one?
Yeah.
Okay, Article 15, well, that's just gonna be an informational article, but I spoke to the town council today, and she spoke to the Attorney General's office, and they're loath to approve any kind of moratoriums, but they did say that many towns are actively getting bylaws passed for battery energy storage systems, and they would suggest that we do that quickly, and they will send us some examples of ones that passed.
Okay, so look, if you ever wanna call a special town meeting in
Yeah, we
the, before the
But
October.
maybe we need to set up a committee at some point to look at that bylaw.
Okay.
And they said several, one of them was just recently was, I wanna say, Hubbardston, it was pretty extensive, they had, there's situations that are pretty similar to ours, a lot of aquifers and stuff like that, so they.
There we go.
What I don't understand is what, if they're for taking energy from the high tension wires, storing it, put it back at night, why don't they build them on the, what they call it, the right of way? The power lines, underneath the power lines.
I couldn't really tell from the map where it was going. I thought it was near Joe's place, but I assume it's in the right of way. But why aren't they building it at their place where the two lines cross?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the.
Tons of property over
Right,
there. Yeah.
right.
I don't know.
Because they probably don't get the agricultural grants for using.
They probably don't get the
Whatever
smart
open
money or
space,
whatever it
yeah,
is, yeah.
yeah.
Right.
That's the whole reason they're putting them in.
I wonder if they have to be a certain distance away from the high lines, just in
Maybe
case as well.
two, maybe two. Or landfill tower leases.
All right, so at this point, that's presentation, basically.
Yeah, the 15 is, yeah.
Article 19, that's not gonna be a request for funding. So,
Okay, can we just drop back then? So 16 is just a present, basically,
oh, sorry,
same as before.
Yeah,
17, do we have any number from the committee yet?
yes,
Okay,
I sent that to advisory, the rough number, and then it's gonna be roughly around 50,000.
same as the senior?
Yeah,
in that
that's what they
ballpark?
came back at then.
Okay,
Doug suggested just keep an eye out, sometimes they'll charge mileage for travel after that, so to make sure the number's good.
okay. And the 150, we're gonna ask for 10 again?
yeah. Fiber, what did you say, 19?
19 is just gonna be informational, so it's not gonna be for funding, so we're not gonna be asking for money. So if when we reword that, so it doesn't say funding, just a fiber optic program maybe, information, I don't know, it's just gonna be informational, the committee's gonna stand up and let them know that the initiative is not dead and that they're still looking into solutions and alternatives.
Pickup truck.
I think he had a number around 60 at that, when you mentioned last
60, I
time.
think it's
Yeah.
60.
What was the number for the capital? Was that 40 for our part or something? 40, 45?
That was like 45 something.
Yeah, but they were at 2 something for the whole thing,
I
yeah.
wanted to say 47, but
I noticed in the
Yeah.
accountant's report for March, they haven't spent any of that money from the special town meeting for those capital projects. Is that, maybe that's because school's open, they're just not doing them, right?
I know they talked about doing the boiler when school was out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you just recently processed an invoice in 17,000.
that's
Might
not the
be this
boiler.
one, or might not be the last one.
I think this was 45,000 something. All right. And then we got the government study committee.
Yeah, do 23 and 24 need to say subject to positive vote at town meeting, town election? Because they are they are ballot questions as well.
I mean, I don't think it would hurt
Seems
to
so.
say it, right?
I don't know, I can check with Rose.
Yeah,
Can we go back for 1 second? Article 18, the funding for the 150. I know I was big on, we doing this the last couple of years, but do we want to pull that just because there's so many other dollar amount things in there? I know it's a low amount, but just to try to save some costs,
well, worst case, can we just, maybe we take no action, but do a little spiel on it at least?
maybe,
You know, we've only gotten 10 so far.
Yeah.
We've asked for it once,
right?
so,
Yeah, I'm just nervous with all this stuff that's on here, it's a small amount, but,
Right.
to do our diligence just to,
we could always vote to donate our salary to it.
to do that.
Well, actually, don't our salaries come under prior year bills? Didn't they short us $115 last year?
25
Right.
and 26, are those informational at this point? Or we can do 25, but we can't do 26 without a public hearing or without,
I think you can't do 26 without a public hearing. So you can do 25, but you can't do 26.
should we just mention them both and say we plan on having these in the fall and do them at the same time?
I would say why confuse people and do them both at the same time, why do half and then,
Right.
it's
Because
confusing.
then what if one fails?
It's confusing the way if you only can do one because you need a
Right,
hearing, then we're not having a hearing, obviously.
yeah,
I'd say maybe pull them both off then, just so there's less on the warrant, and then the government study committee can still talk about all their findings. I mean, do they have a spot in the year?
no, they don't.
Because they have plenty more things to talk about other than what's on the warrant. I know they had their
Maybe we
public
should
hearing,
put,
but
maybe we should put
Yeah.
that in there.
Do we have time for a 15-minute report?
Yeah. Maybe,
well, I think you're gonna eliminate an hour worth of discussion on those two articles with just them giving their presentation.
Oh, yeah, I agree, I just wonder who's gonna be left this time.
if they made their presentation like 22 and then pushed everything down, you know what I mean? Do the
Oh, yeah.
presentation first and then,
Then I'll say 22 would be give report of the government study committee,
right,
23 would be increased, 24 would then be,
Town clerk.
24 and 25 be the two appointed, elected to appointed, subject to whatever.
and then they could,
And as part of the report, they can talk about, in the fall, they're coming forward with the change to select board.
Yeah,
Right. Oh, sorry, and then,
yeah,
add
25,
the,
26.
add the
Oh, yeah, and then add
option
the
for
option to
other-
vote, right.
voting.
Other-
electronic voting.
So you're inserting a new Article 22,
Yeah,
renumbering the ones.
and then
Yeah.
taking out 25, 26,
right.
current 25, 26. Then again, we're only doing that because 26 needs a hearing, so
Right.
why confuse people by having both on there?
Right, right. And then I wonder, Don, I think I saw it before, can we make that in the fall one motion? So like I say, you don't want one to pass and one not to pass.
Right,
We
we can make it one motion.
Yeah,
We can
I
make
think
it
it's
one-
gotta be, you've gotta vote to do both.
When does the term end for the government study committee? Will they be serving in the fall? Just tell them they're
Just tell me, lucky you, you've been extended.
Yeah, we can vote, we can move that right now and not tell them. Extend to another year. The last four are boilerplate at this point, I think.
Because they have to, the whole thing is there has to be a hearing with the planning board, right? So,
That's what Rose was saying.
yeah, we had
I
to,
did appreciate the fact we don't have to go to the state, that's good.
yeah, we don't have to go petition to the state. Yeah.
And then the last two, did we fix the wording from fall town meeting? Remember,
Nope.
Dick was saying there was an issue with not being able to transfer back,
There's an article missing,
article missing.
missing, right.
Raise and appropriate
I
or
will say,
transfer.
I think his point was that it really is missing in the special town meeting, because 30 and 31 are really never used at the annual,
Mhm.
because we don't have the numbers yet.
Right,
And I think it's important to have that there. I was surprised at the inclusion of transfer from unappropriated available funds for the annual town meeting, because typically we don't have any. Didn't think we usually left those words in there. They pretty much raise and appropriate for the annual,
So, vote to transfer, you're thinking 31?
any of those, basically.
we have it in this one, reducing the tax rate, general stabilization.
Which one is that?
This is the 2021
Regular?
regular town meeting. I don't see what the verbiage is, this is just the minutes here.
One other thing is, going back to the assessors thing, it might be just something I mentioned, Don, in the past, we've asked them if they want to contribute from overlay reserve towards some of these, release some of that money.
Right.
And wouldn't hurt to maybe get a statement from them, do they have any money they wanna? Because they, right about this time of the year,
Yeah.
they're looking, okay, we've gone through most of the tax abatements, et cetera, we have this much that can be kicked back in. I think, what was the number they're asking for, was it in the 20s, 28, is typical?
28,
Yeah. I didn't ask for abatement, did you?
And the quick, huh?
I didn't ask for an abatement.
No, I didn't. I don't even see that, she writes all the checks for everything.
You're a good man.
I don't even know,
All right,
who
then.
knows where the money goes with her.
So 30 and 31 stay? Is that,
They do, yes, yeah, just like I say, but we had 30, basically, we had a choice that you can take out of stabilization in the
Yeah,
In the fall.
fall. Yeah. So with those changes, I'll make a motion to close the warrant for the annual town meeting in 24.
Oh, me? Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think
Now, the
the
question
advisory
is,
committee would appreciate a final
do
copy.
we,
of
do
the
we
warrant.
have, do we have to vote the questions? We have to vote on the questions, right?
We have to approve the election ballot.
Yeah, if you could.
Ballot.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that on
It's on the warrant.
Yeah, shall the town of Hampden be allowed to exempt from the provision of Proposition 2.5, so-called the amounts required to pay for the bond issued in order to expand the town's senior center located at 104 Allen Street?
They might change the wording. It's expand and renovate, I would say.
Expand and renovate?
Yeah. The committee has been very clear that renovations are part of the project.
Okay. All right, yes or no? Shall the town of Hampden be allowed to exempt from the provisions of Proposition 2.5, so-called the amounts required to pay for the bond issued in order to expand the Scantic Valley Water District? That's right. So we're gonna say improve and expand?
Well, the improvements are in
The
the.
improvements will be in the pump station.
Right, the rest of it is just
The
expanding.
expansion is gonna be the new homes.
Mhm.
So I think that sounds accurate.
Okay. Just your judgment. Question 3, shall the town vote to have its elected town clerk become an appointed town clerk of the town? That's right from the general laws, right?
Yeah, that's what town council said, these next two are right from the general laws.
Okay, question 4, shall the town vote to have its elected treasurer and elected collector of taxes become an appointed treasurer collector of the town? That's right from right?
Who writes the explanations of a vote yes and a vote no?
I don't think we typically have in the past, so.
Yeah, I just, question 1 and question 2, I worry that people are gonna get lost in the legal phrasing of it and not understand what their vote's gonna do.
We can do something, I know, gosh, Don, go back, way back when we did those, John and you, or, and Art would draft something up and send out
Yeah, but don't,
something typically.
is there ever usually anything in, say, a ballot says, voting yes will do this,
No.
voting no will do this?
No,
No, it's not like, not on the ballot. Yeah, I know what you're thinking about, when the secretary, when you have questions with the state, the Secretary of State sends out that booklet.
Right.
yeah,
We haven't done that. I mean, I suppose we could do
Yeah, I
something,
mean,
but it's not on the ballot.
Yeah, these are kind of important things that, if people are like, what does this even mean, shall be exempt from the provisions of Proposition 2.5?
just like the question, Don, this is not adding to the levy limit, this is a one-time exclusion, like Minichog, like
Yeah.
Green Meadows, like the police station.
Well, maybe we can come up with some wording, Brian has,
Yep.
like a frequently asked questions thing or something.
We should put it on
For
our
the town
website,
meeting, or
yeah.
put it on the website or something.
Right, so we need to sign this, because we're at the date today, right?
The date will be before your next meeting, so yeah.
So we need to, so we
So
need
we're
to
only
sign
changing
the,
page
We
one,
need
so
to,
we also
we need to
sign
make a
page
motion
2.
on approving the 4 questions.
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we're gonna sign this here.
Yeah, page 1 needs to be revised.
And we can revise
sign.
page 1
Yeah, yeah.
before we send it off.
Okay.
Yeah,
We can sign page
Page
2,
two.
and then you can just,
Exactly.
all right, back to the budget.
So we got in the number for what?
What are we gonna do with, the dispatch?
I don't know if that should be under police or under public safety as a whole thing, because it covers
Fire.
fire as
Well, I
well.
wonder if we
EMS.
just, should we just create another new line item?
And under public safety.
Under public
yeah,
safety.
I think that'd be appropriate.
Okay. That's 62,500. Alarm claims, like for veterans. I guess we pretty much beat this to death, right?
Yeah. The only one,
Can I ask,
one sec, please. The only one I still have a question about is that gas pump maintenance, only because Mark talked to us about that. And Lauren, either you or I could reach out to Mark and just ask about that number, because he talked about there was a change, remember? Something about the underground and being, just wanna check that 10,000 is still good for that.
What are you gonna say, Connie?
I'm wondering, and I haven't seen the draft warrant, but on the question with the treasurer tax collector, because those are sort of becoming combined now, do you need somehow to put those separately to combine them? Because the voters are being asked to make those appointed positions,
Right,
and you're not appointing them in exactly the same way that they were elected before, so does that have to be made?
the general laws allow you to combine, and that's the exact wording they say in the general laws to use.
Okay,
We are making two changes at once, yes,
Yes, you
changing from
can.
elected to appointed,
Yeah.
then merging two jobs.
But
Right.
that's the way they said to write the question.
I was just wondering whether the wording in the warrant was correct, and you've answered my question, thank
Yeah.
you.
You know, Brian, on the ambulance, you sent over the wording there, so we just need to put that in more formal to sign it.
The ambulance agreement,
EMS agreement,
yeah, for the next meeting.
yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, they're in no hurry, but,
Their 1-year extension.
yeah, the 1-year
It's
extension.
nice to have that number locked in, so for meetings.
Yeah, he sent it, that's fine with them, so,
I see we got a pay raise in here.
we did.
Yeah, if we get it done, right?
We get, it's not like the last time, we never got it, which is the prior year bill. I just hate to bring it up,
Again,
again.
I got passed on from, Mrs. Davenport, was it like?
All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, we did see administrative assistant, board of health agent. Oh, did we put the,
So this is the new number, where's that shortfall amount on these shared services, is that in there?
New line item on page 4,
page 4?
under shared services, health shared
Oh, yeah,
services.
25,000 we put in, right, okay. All right. This is for the advisory committee next week, right? 16th? Everything is going up.
I said inflation was ticking back up a little bit too.
Which reminds me, we got the highway is. All right,
We never actually formally did that, did we?
no.
Right.
Let's see, Conservation Commission membership. So we had a resignation,
So now the quorum is a little easier,
now quorum a little easier,
and we really gotta beat the bushes and get some new people.
new people.
I know that Judy has talked about stepping down, I know how good a person she
Yeah.
is. She won't leave, I'm sure, until Glendale is done. She's not gonna walk away.
No, she's
Ted
What?
too, I think, right?
Hmm?
Ted too.
Yeah, but again,
Yeah, too,
they
yeah.
need to, be able to train some people. Also, you wanna mention that we do have an opening on cemetery, I don't know if it's worth,
Oh, yeah, they want to open a cemetery
it's only
again.
another month, basically.
Yeah.
And we're looking for people to, are papers still available?
No,
No?
only caucus papers,
No.
only caucus nominations.
Okay,
Right.
but you can write in at the caucus.
Right, and so the two caucuses are being held. The Republican caucus is this Thursday from 4 to 6 at the town hall. Stay for yoga right after. And then the Democratic caucus is 4 to 6 on Friday.
Anything else on it?
I think it only requires 5 signatures to get
5
it.
signatures to get out. Police chief's contract, do we have
Typically, as
that?
many people as show up, so.
What?
Typically, that's the number show up. So do we have the new copy of the contract?
Yeah.
I printed two, do we need more than that?
No, I think one for chief and one for us.
Okay. So we have we've discussed we've negotiated the police chief's contract, a 3-year contract. And by law, we have to vote in public session regarding your contract. All right, 3 years. And I think it's only fair to say that I think we all agree that chief has done a good job, particularly during bringing us through the pandemic and going through the whole bridging process and the post thing and those type of things. So we appreciate, and dispatch too.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate that. So, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay. A motion for approval of chief's contract?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
welcome back.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard. Signing ceremony.
You have new pens?
Did you bring the extra pens for one pen for everybody?
I know, I can use the official pen off the chest.
I'm gonna
if you
put in the
want.
date, I'm gonna put in the witness date, witness thereof, right? Today is the what? Eighth day of April, 2024. All right, John.
So we're gonna just keep this going right around and,
Yeah, you want it signed or you wanna not sign it, and then we'll just say, you never signed it, I'm sorry, you're out of here.
well, early retirement, yes.
Alright. 8th day of April. When did they decide to do it to cruiser?
I have not said, no one's said anything to me. I'm still waiting.
But you still have it in there, right?
Yes. Told elsewise. Maybe I'll get it.
Maybe.
Oh, I thought we took it out. No, seriously.
Seriously, no one said to take it out.
I think it's still in there.
Wow.
You got all three?
I got all three.
And then some too.
Give it to him.
You got, how many copies do you have?
I have just one copy.
Oh, 3 signatures, okay.
Yep.
Don't lose this. Laminated, sit on the wall.
Scan it into the fish.
Scan it into the laser fish. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you, Chief.
evening.
All right, you
Thanks for
also.
coming.
You're welcome.
Any public comment? No, good.
Thank you.
You leave
Was
it?
that too obvious?
I wasn't told to stay unless you
No,
want
no,
me
you're
to
not
stay.
staying, Chris.
I have no problem staying.
You don't wanna. Selectmen's reports.
Well, we have meetings coming up for both planning tomorrow. Building committee, again, we're working on obviously organizing for the second Senior Center Building Forum to provide some of the answers that were brought up last time. And again, the committee is looking at putting up yard signs around town. I believe the Friends of the Seniors are looking to fund those charitably. We appreciate their help on that, and that's what that is.
Well, you know, while we're talking about the advisory committee hearing, Lauren, could you have someone change the thing and put the advisory committee hearing up there in the vote to work?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else from you?
Sorry.
The fiber optic committee is meeting on Wednesday at 6. They're having representatives from Shield, South Hadley Electric Light Department, come in just to give a presentation. Just looking into all options, and looking under all stones at the moment.
Okay. And Brian and I are meeting tomorrow, was it 11 o'clock, Brian?
1 o'clock.
With National Grid regarding double poles. My favorite subject, double poles.
There's some ugly ones out there.
There's some ugly ones out there, so we'll see what we can do. Don't expect them to be gone tomorrow afternoon.
I think we're still waiting for that drone footage of all.
Town administrator's report,
Yeah, just one thing to touch
want to get a
on.
hold of those guys and tell them to get ready to come in.
Yeah. Mark and I met with, I forget the guy's name, some Time Bond. And, we were talking about, conceptual, a schematic design report and traffic study for the intersection that we had talked about to pursue the casino mitigation funding, so they're gonna get a proposal back to us.
Which guy, was it Peter or?
It wasn't Peter, it was Dan Holmes and Alex Buffaletti. Buffaletti. So we had a discussion about it was mostly what Mark was hoping to get from that report. And then we talked whether it made sense to extend that analysis down to, Summers Road and,
The T?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it probably does.
Mhm.
Seeing it as, it would probably fall within the funding that we have available to reallocate, from the gaming commission, so.
It seemed like we're doing a traffic study, it's not much more than just put a few more strips on there.
Right, cause, the concern is that we do something at, the intersection and it makes the other one worse. So we need to look at it holistically, cause we're so close together and so interconnected, so.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
And then Mark's getting me the quotes for the crossing. And then we know what we're doing with the other 50K request, so we'll send that in. Hopefully this week.
And the fire station generator?
Fire station generator, we reached out to the engineer to figure out where that was at, and, it's where it was before. But we were told that the town needs to choose a location.
Basically,
Before
that's
the
what I was
design.
told, it's kind of predicated on what the expansion is, you don't wanna have to move it after, okay, all of a sudden they do it here. My question was, okay, why don't you look at your worst case and put it out from there? Okay, so it's an extra 30 feet, that's why you have wire, and,
Yeah.
go from there.
My suggestion in the email was that it be set back, further back towards the highway department,
Right,
for a
exactly.
number of reasons, because it allows room for expansion, it also sort of centers it. I think there's houses in either location, so when it kicks on to test every 10 AM on Wednesday, people don't have to hear it, so.
Mhm.
Well,
And you
or
can
hear
pro-
it less,
And
right?
you can program that to a different time too,
Right.
you know, you can make it 1 o'clock if you want.
Yeah.
So if we can push that along a bit, and Don, I don't know if you've been thinking about that at all.
All I know is we have a $35,000 generator sitting in the back of the fire station for 6 months. It's still not installed. And I had in the pool, when I said of the over-under be done in a month, I had the over, so I think I'm gonna be okay.
I don't know, we'll go back in the minutes for that.
So, I don't understand, I'm sorry, I don't understand why the consultant waited till today when you called them to say, oh, we need to have a location. Don't you think you get your ass out here and take a look at it and say, before we do anything, we need a location?
Wouldn't you give us a quote based on the location you knew,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It's a long way across the river, it was dark today, you couldn't make it.
So,
It's partial dark.
okay,
Partial
anything
dark.
else? All right, I will entertain a motion to go in executive session to discuss, to do collective bargaining with the police patrolmen's union, and we will not return to a regular session. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending.
So moved.
Second,
John Flynn, aye.
Donald Dampert, aye.
Figure of a side.
This isn't an actual article, is it?
What?
That's not an article, right?